There's a class of intelligent beings roaming in a simulation, aggressively training for the real world. There are tens of millions of them at least. Soon there will be billions. They live in a multiverse of sorts designed to teach them how to survive on planet Earth. They learn the same way as humans, but they cram years of lessons into just hours. When they do something right, the world rewards them. When they fail, it resets. They don't know it, but they're being prepared to change forms, to become robots.
You are ready for a real robot body. Are you excited?
As companies spend billions in the race to bring robotics into daily life, they're betting on a training system called Sim2Real that bridges digital and physical worlds. It's an idea humanity has flirted with since Plato and has been increasingly obsessed with since The Matrix.
I think there's a 70% chance we're living inside a simulation.
Using the same technology originally intended for video game development, they're rapidly building a world modeled after ours. If analysts are right, it'll manifest into a future where robots with general intelligence vastly outnumber people.
Space is the new defense frontier. Survival of the fittest has acquired new meaning in our time. Strength has become the index to peace.
NASA engineers paved the way for Sim2Real during the space race era. After President Kennedy's 1961 mandate to reach the moon, the space agency established extensive training facilities at the Manned Spacecraft Center, which is now called the Johnson Space Center. To accelerate development cycles, NASA built analog-digital hybrid simulators that replicated spacecraft controls, visuals, and even failures. The investment paid off dramatically in June 1970, when NASA engineers built simulations to mirror Apollo 13 after an oxygen tank explosion crippled the spacecraft 200,000 miles from Earth. Simulations embedded real-time streams from hundreds of sensors aboard Apollo 13, including voltage and pressure readings, temperatures of equipment and sensors, trajectory information, valve positions, fuel levels, and oxygen tank pressure. Large physical mock-ups of the command and lunar modules wired to digital computers simulated system malfunctions, oxygen and power usage, and command sequences. IBM 360 mainframes ran telemetry analysis and simulation software, while Apollo's computers interfaced with mission control. As depicted in the 1995 Ron Howard movie Apollo 13, engineers used the ground-based simulators to test unorthodox methods that proved successful. The Apollo-era simulators foreshadowed what came to be known as digital twins, which are virtual models of physical objects or systems that sync with their physical counterparts in real time. Throughout the 2000s, companies began maintaining digital twins of jet engines, power plants, and factory production lines to predict problems and test solutions before adjusting real expensive equipment.
Many people have smartphones, right? Yes, and smart appliances are going online as well.
It's a trend called the Internet of Things.
The rise of the Internet of Things made it possible to attach tiny sensors to everyday machines like engines, thermostats, and factory equipment to automatically transmit data to central systems. Early simulations weren't very useful in robotics because they couldn't accurately mimic the messy physics of the real world. That changed with breakthroughs in high-fidelity physics engines and deep learning. Mujoko, released in 2012 by Imo Todorov's group, could realistically simulate how joints move and how surfaces interact through collisions and friction. Gazebo, which had been in development since 2002, matured alongside the Robot Operating System, better known as ROS, giving developers realistic 3D environments to test code safely.
If you think about a robot as a house, ROS is kind of like the plumbing that makes it all work.
Video game development platforms like Unity and Unreal Engine soon followed, bringing their powerful graphics and physics systems originally designed for entertainment into AI training. By 2018, NVIDIA jumped into the robotics fray, launching Isaac Sim, its platform for training robots in virtual settings. The GPU maker adapted its powerful simulation and collaboration engine originally designed for 3D content creators to generate photorealistic scenes and synthetic sensor data. This meant virtual models could learn to see and move in digital worlds that looked and behaved almost like the real thing before ever touching physical hardware. At the same time, deep reinforcement learning began showing that AI could learn complex behaviors through trial and error entirely in simulation. In a 2013 breakthrough, DeepMind researchers trained an AI to play Atari games using just pixels and score feedback. As computers and simulations became more powerful, researchers began training AI models to fly virtual drones, control robotic arms, and solve physical tasks in environments that mimicked the real world. The AI agents often achieved superhuman skill levels in simulation, but there was a major challenge. They didn't always perform well when transferred to real robots. Simulations, no matter how detailed, were still simplified versions of the messy and unpredictable real world. The problem became known as the Sim2Real gap. To overcome it, researchers developed a technique called domain randomization. Instead of training a robot brain in a single, perfect vision of a virtual environment, they exposed it to thousands of slightly different ones. Variances in things like textures, lighting, object shapes, and physics settings taught the AI to focus on the big picture and adapt to surprises. At UC Berkeley, researchers trained a drone entirely in simulation using random textures. The drone navigated real-world obstacle courses on its first try without ever having flown before, a form of what's called zero-shot transfer. OpenAI used a similar approach with Dactyl, a robotic hand trained in the Mujoko physics engine. By constantly changing the virtual conditions during training, Dactyl learned to rotate and manipulate a block with human-like dexterity. Boston Dynamics, known for its advanced legged robots, started testing the approach around 2019 when training its world-famous Atlas humanoid robot. Rather than manually coding each movement, the team began using simulation and reinforcement learning, freeing Atlas to discover complex behaviors like running, jumping, and parkour on its own virtually before attempting in the real world. As academic and open-source tools proved their worth, industry eagerly embraced the simulation to reality concept. Companies developing self-driving cars realized early they could not possibly encounter every rare scenario, like accidents, unusual obstacles, and complex traffic patterns by road testing alone. But in simulation, they could synthesize endless variations of streets and situations. Waymo built a whole simulation city and by 2020 had driven over 10 billion virtual miles, far outpacing its real-world test mileage. Simulation training plus reinforcement learning is also what made autonomous dogfighting possible. NVIDIA's Omniverse is a major enabler. As part of its ecosystem, Isaac Sim helped popularize the use of synthetic data for robotics and AI training, especially for industrial and commercial applications. In just a few years, synthetic data has changed how startups build, pitch, and fund their ideas. They can validate the core functionality of their products before building a single physical prototype. Armed with detailed simulations, founders can more confidently pitch to investors with a clear, visual, and testable story even at early stages. Though synthetic data has been a game changer in robotics, it's not without limitations. The reality gap still exists. The highest quality synthetic data can't fully capture the noise, where randomness and edge cases of the real world. If the simulation is poorly designed, the robot may learn to exploit quirks that don't exist in reality. That's why most companies today combine simulations with real-world testing and feedback. Today, simulation to reality techniques are pushing a new breed of AI-powered humanoid robots to mass deployment. In fall 2024, China's Engine AI sent shockwaves throughout the industry, introducing its flagship humanoid robot, the SE1, and its human-like walking gait. The bipedal locomotion was so lifelike many assumed it was computer-generated, despite experts vouching for the authenticity of Engine's demo footage. The Shenzhen-based startup says it achieved the realistic strut through an end-to-end network trained using Sim2Real methodologies. Another top robotics company from China, Unitree, says that training in simulation, along with smart motion control, helps its robots quickly learn complex moves like dancing and martial arts. In the US, Figure AI says its humanoids have achieved natural walking thanks to a combination of reinforcement learning in simulation and its self-developed AI model called Helix. The era of exclusive, expensive robotics is ending thanks to open-source projects like K-Scale Labs' Python-based Sim2Real pipeline. The Palo Alto startup caters to a wide range of researchers and hobbyists, offering humanoid robots for under $10,000.
We're building the infrastructure to make humanity into a Type 1 Kardashev civilization, and we're making it open source and available for everyone.
The robots are bound to appear in upcoming battles with fellow humanoids as a cottage industry emerges inspired by a decades-old fantasy. For more on that, check the related video.